Killjoy's Nerf 111. Nerf 111. She's weak.
One enemy remaining.
Oh.
So much skill in this character, dude. It's kind of stupid.
I see the spike. What's going on? This is Crow Gaming, and today we're going to be breaking down Raze. The clip that you just saw is from my old account, which I'm making a Raze main. If you caught my Road to Radiant episode 3 video, you'll kind of understand this, but essentially I just want to increase the characters that I'm good at. And ever since the beta, I really did not want to play Raze. Why is this? Well, to be honest, I think she was kind of broken in the beta. Her damage output was insane, especially with her satchels doing a lot more damage than they do now. However, she just got nerfed. So let's just talk about the current state of Raze and what I think of the character. I plan on making these character breakdowns, maybe a series. If you're all interested in that, please leave a comment below. In addition to my Road to Radiant series, which I post once a week as well, I feel like a nice character breakdown would allow me to really show my knowledge of the game, even though maybe my rank isn't as high as it should be. If you're new here, again, I post 2 videos a week, at least, or maybe 3 sometimes if I'm feeling up to it. If you want, please drop a like and subscribe. It really does help out a lot. And let's get into the breakdown. Raze's kit, currently standing, is probably one of the most unique kits in the game. Raze alone can do pretty much 3 to 4 things just with a couple abilities. 1. Her boombot can get information and stall. Her satchels are able to clear out enemy utility and also stall, and her grenade is great at flushing people out of corners and do damage. Raze's ability to kind of do a little bit of everything is why she might have one of the strongest kits in the game, regardless of her damage output. Let's break down her first ability, which is the boombot. In higher elo, you almost will never get a kill with the boombot unless it's like a rare circumstance. However, the reason why the boombot is so effective is because it's probably one of the best ways to gather information. Right now you'll be sending a boombot through Hookah and Bind, and this is probably one of the best maps for Raze in general. You can essentially just send in a boombot into Hookah and clear it out for free without really having to waste any utility besides that, like flashes, into actually gaining ground at B site. The ability for the boombot to gather information leads directly into her damage output, as if you see somebody in a corner, you can flush them out with a grenade and then finish them off with your rifle, or vice versa. If the grenade connects, then you can actually get a kill for free just by sending out your boombot for information. I think most people are aware of how strong it is on attacking, just for clearing out common played angles on defense, but on the defensive side it's actually pretty good as well, because you can send it as well for information, right? If you send it through mid on ascent, for example, you can kind of tell where the enemy team is. You can line up a grenade to deal damage, or you can just provide information to the team that's pretty useful. The next ability we're going to break down is the satchels. I think everyone's seen the flights compilations of people that are playing Raze just satchel charging into the enemy team and being able to flank essentially with this. The satchel is probably one of the best mobility abilities. Here's an example of just popping up on top of the little wall in the ascent and being able to get a line of sight that most people won't look at. However, the mobility thing doesn't really work out a lot of the times, or it's just not really a high percentage thing that you should be looking to use them for, especially since they're 200 apiece. The best use of satchels really, and most play, is just to clear out utility. Especially with the addition of Killjoy and Cypher pretty much being 100% pick rate, a lot of utility that is common where Cyphers and Killjoy set up, you can actually destroy with Raze's satchels. This is a great way of pretty much trading utility and allows your team to actually clear a site, especially if Cypher or Killjoy use all their utility at choke points. This is really beneficial for your team because now you don't have to worry about any other utility waiting for you on site. The recent nerf to the damage of the output of the satchel isn't really as big of a deal as I thought it would be initially. I think this was actually a pretty good nerf to Raze, just because the satchel's job wasn't really meant to deal damage, right? It was mostly to clear out utility and then also provide some interesting mobility mechanics. The next ability we're going to break down is obviously the grenade, which has kind of made Raze one of those characters that'll have a lot of criticism from the community. This grenade has the ability to not only do damage and kill people like you see now with that clip from the beginning, but the ability to essentially clear out your own angles as Raze with your grenade is really a beneficial tool. You can pretty much force an angle of engagement by just chucking a grenade and knowing the enemy has to go a certain way to respond to it. You can see this here in an ace that I got. As you see, I threw the grenade in the tube on bind, and I knew that the plant was somewhere near there, so the omen really only had two directions to go, and I pretty much made a guess that he would go to the right, which is where I was looking. That way I had a pre-aim angle on him and was able to secure the ace. So not only can Raze pretty much clear out enemy angles with her grenade, and it does a massive amount of damage if you actually get hit, it can also be one of the best stall tools in the game. If you throw a nade at a choke point, it not only might just clip an enemy, so you might get a kill out of it, but it also does damage to pretty much anybody in that choke point, right? But it also stalls. It forces the enemy team to either turn around or push through the grenade, which not many people do, so it's usually a 1v1 going out of that choke point. The final ability that we're going to talk about is obviously her ultimate. The recent nerfs to the ultimate, making it one more orb to actually use it, and also increases the pullout time, is probably one of the best nerfs in the game. I know a lot of Raze mains might disagree, but it was kind of just way too strong. The ability to pull out your rocket pretty much after a couple kills and receive 2 or 1 kill for free was kind of broken. The ult is still super strong, even though sometimes it just doesn't deal like a one-hit kill. Sometimes you just get clips that do this much damage though. Playing Raze for a couple days, I can clearly see why I think the nerfs were actually pretty beneficial for the long run of the game. There's a reason why a lot of pro players use her, and it's just because you're able to do so much with her kit that a lot of people can't even do with their own. I really did think the nerfs were significant at the start. I mean, if you watch my solo queue thing, I think I put her in B tier. I mostly agree with that. She might be A tier. I might change my mind on that, but I think overall she's in a good place. It's not overpowered. It's not S tier where you must pick her if you're in solo queue. She's kind of in this nice state where you'll do well with her, but it's not like it'll be game breaking. You know, hope you guys enjoy. That's it for me, really. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Alright, see ya.